are you doing today? My name's Kirsty and we are going to be putting together my March TBR on today's video. If you are new to the channel, you may not be aware, but I play a monthly game called My Heroic TBR, and this is based off my favourite anime of all time, which is My Hero Academia. I've built a board where I've got all different prompts on the board. I've also created some character cards. I will leave the link below to the very first video where I break everything down and explain it. As well as the My Heroic TBR, I'm also taking part in the Roll of Reads Readathon, which was created by a book fiend named Mel. Now, this is quite in-depth and detailed, so I will leave the link to her video where she explains far better than I could. But essentially, it is a grid that had 20 squares on, and each square had prompts, and then you had to roll the dice in order to draw the prompts. There is a little bit more to it. That video will explain it, and yeah. For February, I was originally going to be doing the Tropical Reads Readathon because I've done that now for 3 years, but I have decided that I'm no longer going to take part in that readathon. It's nothing political, there's nothing bad for why, it's just personal preference. I wasn't a fan of the prompts this year, I wasn't a fan of the team books, I struggled to find things that I wanted to read that matched the prompts. And also, I really don't like the fact that one of the rules of the readathon is that they don't count graphic novels and manga towards your final count. So yeah, I just decided I'm not actually interested now, and so that's why I wanted to do roller reads instead. And I did decide that I wanted to try and, for March, clear some of my arcs. And some of these are backlist from like 2019, 2020. So yeah, if you're wondering why I'm saying it's an arc when it was a book released 3 years ago, it's because that was when I was sent it and I'm only just now getting around to it for one reason or another, so bear with me. I'm going to separate this video into two parts, so if you're only interested in Roll of Reads, you can skip straight ahead to the Roll of Reads section. If you're only interested in the My Heroic TBR, you can stay for this bit, or if you want to watch the whole thing, you can. It's completely up to you. I'm kickstarting with the My Heroic TBR, so let's go to the board and let's roll for this month's reads. So here is our board again, and first of all we need to work out how many steps we're going forward and back. I have completed one book on my list, so I definitely can go forward one. I have another 2 that I will complete, so I can go forward 3, but then that obviously means there are 2 that I won't get to this month, so that's another 2 back. So overall I get to move forward 1 single step. You know, every step counts. I haven't completed enough in order to decide whether or not I only want to do 5 rolls this month, so I am back up to 6 rolls. Roll number 1. And we're starting off big. 11. So we draw a blank, and this month our first blank is fat gum with plus size wrap. Roll number 2 is a 4. And another blank, so we have Tokiyami, character with a dark side they struggle to control. If you watch the show, this is because of Dark Shadow. I modelled that after him because he struggles to control Dark Shadow at the start of the series. Roll number 3 is an 8. Can't even follow my own board. Another blank. We have Kaminari, a comic relief character. Roll number 4 is also a 4. This seems to be a trending theme. Every month so far I've had one number that is the same as the roll. And another blank. And this time we have Gran Torino, a book written before you were born. Roll number 5. Shuffle again. And roll number 5 is 6. Okay, we've landed on a special square. This is Big 3. Big 3, I have to pick 3 books that are big, so either they're really super hyped, or they are over 500 pages, or anything like that. And then I will ask you guys on a poll and find out, or I'll ask a few friends and get them to pick one that will be added to the TBR. And then finally for roll number 6 we have 8. Oh, you are no. Oh my god. I wasn't expecting this. We have a go to hell. Okay. I have to keep big 3. I have to keep go to hell. I am going to take out Gran Torino because, as I already explained, I am doing as many arcs as I can this month, and obviously there's not really going to be any arcs that were before I was born, so he's going to go back into the pile, and we're going to redraw from the pile, and we are going to redraw Camwy Woods, so a forest or woodland setting, or a word in the title. Okay, those are our picks. Let's go. Little bit of a mixed bag, a couple of fun extra bits. I have my spreadsheet up here that I can get my books from, because obviously I'm doing 2 different things, so I had to come up with a spreadsheet in order to try and work out what books fit what prompts, and I've tried to do as many crossovers as I can. And we are starting off with an arc, which was Fat Gum and Plus Size Rep. I have chosen Out of Character by Jenna Miller. I was sent this at the end of 2022. Technically will have released by the time I get round to it, because it released yesterday on the 23rd of February. So I'm a little bit late getting to this one, but not too late. The character is plus size and it looks at being a plus size teen and some other factors. So this one was definitely very fitting. For Tokiyami, next up was Tokiyami, and for him, character with a dark side they struggle to control. I've chosen the arc of The Other Black Woman, and this one is quite an old one for my TBR list. However, again, is one that I just didn't really get round to when I was given it. It's looking at the dark side of things like jealousy, envy, things like that, and I just think that's a really good, and anger, and I feel like that is a good fit. I'm just going to turn the light on so half my face isn't in shadow. So, The Other Black Girl. Next up we had Kaminari, which was a character that is a comic relief character, because Kaminari is an adorable derp, and I'm going to finish a book that I started the year before last and that I've been eager to get to, and for some reason I just have not gotten to, and that is Flashfire by TJ Klune. This is book 2 in the Extraordinary series, and you can see I did start it. I'm going to restart it, but it was freaking hilarious and I absolutely love this series, and Nick has ADHD, so I relate so hard to some of the things that he says and does. So very excited for this one. Then I pulled Gran Torino and I decided to then redraw, so I then got Camwy Woods, and following on with TJ Klune I am reading In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune, because I don't know if the whole book is set in a forest, but in the blurb it does start with it being set in a forest, and that these robots grew up in the forest, so I couldn't not have it when I desperately want to get to this in the next month. Then we had Big 3, and for this one it links to a prompt in the other game, and that was a friend pick, and I'm also going to be doing a video soon with the Reading Wren and going to be involving picks there. So I contacted them, I asked them to pick 3 books for me, and then I randomly rolled to decide which of the 3 I was going to read. I'm not going to tell you all 3 on here because I don't want to give away that video straight away, but I will tell you that one of those 3 books, which is the one that won for this, was Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joy Goffney. So this is one that Ren has told me I have to read and they highly recommend, so I will be getting to this one hopefully. And technically this was an arc sent to me by Hotkey Books, so keeping in with the arcs theme, which is great. And then the final one, which is the ever dreaded Go to Hell Jar. I hate the Go to Hell Jar, but let's do it. Let's see, what are we gonna get? This one. So I don't know if it'll let you lot see. Okay, that's not going to focus, but it's The Night Raven by Sarah Painter, which is an audiobook, and I think that one's quite short, so I got lucky. Okay. So those are the books for the My Hero TBR. So next is going to be the books for Roll of Reeds, so enjoy. For Roll of Reeds, this is a D&D themed based game, so we had a mixture of races, we had a mixture of classes such as Ranger, Bard, Cleric, etc. And each one is linked to various prompts, and then we had miscellaneous prompts mixed in with that as well. I decided to do 10 rolls. You'll find that I kind of shot myself in the foot with that one, because one of the biggest rules of this game is if you roll the same number 3 times throughout these rolls, you have to take an extra roll. Also, if you roll a 1, which in D&D is a nat 1, which is basically you fluffed up, you have to roll again. And then if you rolled a d20, 20, which is a nat 20, then that's like a reward and you could have chosen. Unfortunately, luck was not on my side. I did not roll a d20, but yeah, we had some fun. Okay, here we go, Roll of Reeds, and we have our nice, shiny, beautiful Kraken dice. So if I get 20, it gets this little Kraken on it. But it is so pretty and so shiny, and I love it. And it's jumbo sized as well, so it's like, woo! Anyway, very first roll, we have 17. And that is that one. I can count. Ooh, use a colour generator. Okay, I've found a colour generator. So let's see what we get. Deep purple. Okay then, roll number 2. We got 11. Is it somewhere you've never been? I can do that quite easily because I've been to very, very few places. Number 3. 2. And we have Ranger. Features travelling or a quest. Next roll. 18. Bard. Featuring music or has music on the cover. Oh dear. 18 again. Cheers. A book battle. Roll number 6. I thought that was going to be another 18 then, but it's not. It's an 8. So there's still an 8 in there, but it's not the 8. 5, 6, 7. Takes place on an island. Okay. 4 more to go. First one we have is 6. Cheers. This one. Paladin. Predominantly set in a city or urban environment. Next roll. Oh god. 8. So we have 2 now that are on 2. BIPOC author. That one I can easily do. I still have 2 more rolls. Ah. Okay, 4. Ooh, didn't replace that one. LGBTQIA plus rep. And our final roll is... oh, flip my life. 18, which means I do have to do a bonus. We have a human, which is read a contemporary, romance or women's fiction. Okay. And then finally, unless I roll an 8, which I do not, I get... oh, flip! I just realised a 1 means I've got to do yet another one. I'm doing well with this. So we got friend picks, which is fantastic because I have a friend that I'm doing a joint video with very soon. So this had better be the final one, because if I roll an 8 right now, I might cry. It's not an 8. 14 is our final roll, and that is this one. Cheers. Cleric, featuring religion or mythology. Okay, just a few prompts. Well, let's go. First up, we had use a random colour generator, and you saw I found one for my laptop and I was able to do that, and I rolled deep purple, and surprisingly I struggled to find books that had deep purple on them, But in the end, I've gone with The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson because I need to get to it. This is also on my self-destruct, so it clears a book from that section, hopefully. Next up, we had a book set somewhere I've never been, and going back to my Hero TBR, I'm doing Out of Character by Jenna Miller because this is New York, I believe. Certainly in America, and I've never been to America. I then fluffed up, and on the video I rolled Ranger. Yeah, I think I put the card somewhere down, or I accidentally mixed it back up in the deck, because when I got to the end of all my game, I counted my squares and I only had 11, and I should have had 12. So I drew a random one, and yeah, when I went to edit the video, I was like, oh. So instead of Ranger, I've ended up with Gifted or From a Subscription Box. And so I have decided to finally clear one that I think this is the last of my subscription box books, like this and Space Between Worlds. And that is Fire with Fire by Destiny Soraya. And this was a Fairy Loot book, and I've had it for about 2 years, so I really do need to get to this one. Then we have Bard, which was featuring a musical instrument, or the book is about music. I've chosen a manga for this one. I've chosen the Song of Yoru and Asa by Harada. It has a microphone on the cover, so I have no idea what it's about, but it has a microphone, so I'm guessing it's about music. It fits the prompt. I'm going with it. We then had Book Battle, and I forgot to record this bit. But what I did, I picked out a book that I really, really wanted to read and a book that I'm slightly more reluctant to read. And the book that I really, really wanted to read was In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. The book I was slightly reluctant was Three Dark Crowns by Kendara Blake. I rolled, and the higher roll went to In the Lives of Puppets. So that is perfect because that fits both readathons. And it's an arc, so again, I'm keeping in with that theme of sticking with arcs. Takes place on an island. I have chosen All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue because it's set in Ireland, and Ireland is also an island. For Paladin, I had to choose a book that is set in an urban area, and for this I chose again The Other Black Girl because it doubled up with the My Heroic TBR and is set in an urban area. It's set in an office, so doesn't really get much more urban than a building with an office. Next up we had a BIPOC author, and for this I have chosen The Blood Trials. I know Melody from Strawberry Lemon Books has said that this was her favourite book of the year for last year. It's also an arc that is on my backlog on NetGalley. I thought perfect fit for that prompt. Then we also had LGBTQIA rep, and for this one we are going back to Flashfire by TJ Klune because the main character Nick is gay and there's a lesbian couple in it, so definitely full of LGBT rep. Then we had Human, which was, I keep forgetting what this one is. Human was to read a romance contemporary, or there was something else, so I've gone with a contemporary romance manga called Would You Like to Be a Family by Aiko Koyama, and this is just, it's gay, it's got a little kid in there, and it's just two guys who, single parent, gay guy, and they end up together and building a family together, and I just think that's super adorable, and is another manga just to break up all of the stacks of novels. Then we had, again, which I've already talked about, is Friend Picks, and I asked Ren from the Reading Rent to pick 3 books for another project that we're doing, and then I rolled a dice to randomly choose one of those books to include for this playlist, and that goes to Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. And then the final prompt for March was Cleric, which was to read a book featuring religion. And for this I've chosen the final arc that I desperately want to get to, and that is The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten. It states on the book description that it's a book about magic, religion, intrigue, politics and all sorts. So I was like, well, it mentions religion, I'm going to count it. That is my TBR for March. Overall there are 12 books, which isn't the biggest TBR I've ever had. These are the physical books that I have, and I don't think it's going to be too difficult as long as I'm actually like on it this month, because February I was not on it. I think I've done well. Half of the books that I've chosen for February are all arcs, and like I said, I wanted to try and clear some arcs. So as long as I do all 6, that should clear quite a good substantial amount off my Goodreads, hopefully. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to all of these. I will link everything below for everything you need to know. Those are my books for March. I'm definitely excited to be getting to the Clunes. Like, you know, I think this is the year of TJ Clune for me, because I read Under the Whispering Door in January. I've now got 2 for this month, and then I can get the 3rd and final book in this series hopefully later in the year. So maybe this is my TJ Clune era. Who knows? Anyway, let me know in the comments if you have any books that you've chosen for March that you are particularly excited for, or if you're taking part in any readathons. And I will speak to you all soon. I hope you're good. I hope you're staying safe. And until next time.